It is wintertime. It's cold and there's snow outside, and this rig also needs work, like a bunch of my other rigs. But I have already wrenched on some of it. It's time to focus on the SCX6. This guy looks nice. Although this rig looks nice, it has some work to do. And a lot of it is just really dirty. This thing, I bet, was just never cleaned. So the first thing is we're going to use some of these hide wipes from CowRC. I think that's going to be perfect because there's this film. It reminds me of the film that was on like my RC10 GT when I was growing up. This isn't a gasser though, obviously, but it has the same sort of like weird greasiness, and I'm not sure where that came from. But everything is just coated in a layer of nastiness. So we're going to start by wiping down the electronics and go from there. Also, I learned that the servo doesn't work. That was not disclosed in the purchase, but I guess I didn't ask the right questions. Being, you know, hey, what's wrong with it? Although I did ask him what's wrong with it because it was cheap. And he was like, hey, let's just talk on the phone or whatever. And then we did, and he didn't tell me that anything was wrong with it. So I just assumed that, you know, it's running, but it's, yeah. So, whatever, my bad, I guess. But even for the price, since it's the electronics that seem to be having a problem, I know a dude. Oop, sorry. These smell like, I don't know what they smell like. I wonder if this is okay to get on my skin. Read the safety data sheets. I should probably get some gloves on. It does say something about irritation. Let me go grab some gloves. All right, so I got some gloves on for this. It does actually show, you know, like no gloves with touching this, and it's got a no physical hazard personal protection NA on here, so it'd probably be okay to touch them, but I tend to touch my face and my mouth a lot, so it's just not, yeah, I'm gonna be a little more cautious today because I'm probably gonna get a lot of chemicals on me. And there is a little smell on this too. You can see, yeah, this rig is needing a little love. Needs some love. So I already got a radio hooked up. The electronics on this side, they seem to work fine. Let's just unplug. We don't need all this together right now. I already set up my endpoints for the shifting servo. Do we have a cut in this wire? No, we don't. Cool. Well, the servo was just dead. So I guess I'm going to have to get a new servo for this, and we don't have any stock left of these old guys, so not sure what I'll do. I've got a reefs I could steal from my other rig that I really don't care to drive. Ugh, all these wires. Hobby wing, come on. Y'all know what crawlers want. Maybe, maybe not. It's not more wires, I can tell you that much. At least me. And I feel like I'm a fairly good representation of the average crawler's wants, although I may be a little ahead of schedule on some things. So dirty. I can taste this stuff. Or maybe that's the Loctite from the previous video. You know, the Loctite really reminds me of Christmas time. What year would it have been? Like 95? I got an RC10 GT with a, oh, what motor was it? It's a blue top. Not easy, not CZ. I'll think of it here in a minute. But at any rate, I had to put it together from scratch because it was a kit. I don't know if they even had ready to run RC10 GTs at any point in time. And there's a lot of Loctite to be used on those because being a gasser, it would vibrate itself loose. And just the intense smell of Loctite being used all morning. And then, you know, I get it on my hands, of course, being a child. And it just get all over everything. There we go. That one, that's not too dirty. You know, motor fins look great, but they pick up so much trash. Oh wow. Let's all right, I'll continue with this for a moment on this side. This has seen some tumbles. The BEC was disabled, let's just say. It looks like it fell out of the rig, and then the rig maybe fell down a hill or something, so there were some cut wires on a point to where it's completely unfixable because it's an encased Castle BEC. So of course it got cut right next to where it was encased, and there's really not a lot I can do with it, and it probably got killed anyways from being shorted out. So if I do a direct power servo, then I won't really have to worry about it. The Spectrum will power the shift servo, which is a standard one. I could also get a direct power for the shift servo if I really wanted to, but it should be fine. This is so dirty that I feel like I'm going to make it dirtier by doing this. It'll be pretty cool to cut some like carbon fiber panels out for this, although I could do it the cheap way and just put some carbon fiber sticker on top of this, but I'm not really into carbon fiber sticker. All right, this is nasty, is what I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'm gonna have a pile of these things when I'm done, and I'm sure that the heft of this rig. Oh yeah, it's getting all over. The heft of this rig, I could get some of the other products out that Cal sent and their brush and go through and do a much better job. But I'm going to do a light cleaning on this first. You know, actually I could throw this down. I should have thrown one of those cow mats down. Dadgummit. Nah, it's fine at this point. I don't know if any of those mats are actually big enough to fit under this rig. But we can get it to where I can handle this thing without feeling like I need to wash my hands before I go to the bathroom. Which, by the way, is the proper order of things. You know, my privates, they stay in my pants all day. My hands, they're touching everything. I'm much more worried about how dirty my hands are when I go to the bathroom than I am the other way around. And I mean, yeah, if I pee on my hands, I'm washing my hands afterwards too. But that's, I mean, how often do you really pee on your hands? I don't know. This is put your comments down below. Do you like the moisturizing of peeing on your hands? That's it is actually a really good moisturizer if you look into most face products, conditioners. They have what's called urea in there. That's urine. It is straight urine. And sometimes it's synthesized, and sometimes they take it literally from cows and pigs and they do a little bit of magic to it so it doesn't stink so much. It's still urea though. It's going to stink like urine one way or another. They just don't put enough in there. But just as an aside, your wife probably is putting urine on her face as a moisturizer and hair. And if you use conditioner, I mean, a real man don't use conditioner, but if you're using conditioner, so are you. Just look. Maybe you don't want to look, but look on your bottle of conditioner, urea. Maybe that's why my hands are so soft. Sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. What a wonderful What a wonderful character from Paul Rubin. Maybe y'all have watched, which one was that? It was a Cheech and Chong movie, and they're in an insane asylum, and Paul Rubin's in there, and he's stolen hamburgers. And he's like, I'm sorry, and then whatever happens, I'm not sorry. He just wanted a hamburger, a bunch of hamburgers maybe, I'm not sure. It's been a while since I watched that movie. The characters that Paul Rubin played, though. I know he wasn't a perfect guy. But usually it's the wackos that make really good actors anyways, so. And I don't know if he's a wacko. He's just, normal dude. Wrong place at the wrong time? Who knows? Normal for Hollywood? Which looks like Hollywood's burning to the ground right now. I wonder what's going to happen to all those people in the state. They're going to try to stay around, even though insurance won't cover anything. They're not going to have any money to rebuild. They're going to try to filter out into other states. Well, I can tell you most of them aren't coming to Missouri, because Missouri is not a liberal state. There's a few liberal cities. Columbia, where I live, it's a liberal city. It's a liberal oasis in the middle of Missouri. But the rest of the state, oh no. The legislature is not. It's a veritable cornucopia of good old boys and daily carry, really, is what it is. Because we have constitutional carry in this state, as well as constitutional concealed carry. So you don't need anything more than the Second Amendment from the feds to carry a gun pretty much anywhere. There are a few places, schools and stuff, they have signs to keep your guns out. Don't do that. But gun-free zones are also where we tend to have more problems with people walking in with guns. It's like a sign advertising that, hey, nobody here has guns. It's not a good idea, really, in a society where you can carry, and most people carry. But since we had constitutional carry added to our Constitution, gun crime went down. Because an armed society is a polite society, and that's not just a saying. We have seen it in action. Pretty much every state that deregulates the ability to carry and makes it to where everybody can carry, they see a reduction in crime. Because, if you were in this state and you thought, I'm going to hop out of my car and I'm going to give this man a piece of my mind right now. Why? Because I'm mad. You're in my state, you probably aren't going to do it, because the likelihood of that person carrying is very high. Now, are they going to be irrational and shoot you over nothing? No, probably not. But the deterrent of knowing that everybody is armed, it's a deterrent. And suddenly, nobody really wants to hop out of the car and road rage anymore, because everybody's carrying. Maybe not in Columbia, because it's a very liberal city, but there's still a lot of people that do. No comment on myself. We've talked about this before, to where it's one of those hobbies that I have that I just don't talk about because, YouTube kind of frowns upon it. And besides that, I ain't telling you. What are you, a fed? What, are you trying to know what I have? You already know what I have if you're a fed. A little bit of everything. Although I don't carry a 22 daily. I have plenty of them. I do not carry a 22 because I find that for protection, if I'm carrying something for protection at least, rimfire is not where it's at. I even if it's 1 out of 1,000 rounds or whatever, where the primer just doesn't hit, or the striker hits a little weird, you got to pull it twice. No, I want to be a little bit more sure about something that is being carried for protection. Just like how I'm protecting my hands right now. I'm not going to use cotton gloves to protect my hands from solvents that may get through, right? Same sort of thing. If I am carrying for protection, I am carrying a gun that is made for protection. But so I got nothing against Glocks. Absolutely, I got a few, but they're just bulky, really bulky. And so I've trended towards I think mouse guns. I've heard the term mouse guns. I've been trending towards those because I'm not carrying it to have accuracy at 100 yards, right? And honestly, there's been some really good releases this past year. Bodyguard 2.0, look into that one. If you're into carrying 380 and not 9, it's really, really well behaved for the size of it. And you can it comes with an extended mag, 12 round mag to fit the average male hand. But honestly, even with a 10 round, it's fine. It's the pinky kind of hangs off the end for me. I don't have huge hands, but that's maybe we will have a video about that sometime. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, people in California having the Palisades are totally burnt down. My heart goes out to all those people who were, unfortunately, they had their insurances canceled at wholesale on many multi-million-dollar houses in the Palisades. Well, where are they going to go? Who knows? Probably out to like Colorado first would be my assumption, not Missouri. But I don't think people in Missouri want them to come into Missouri. That's the policies that have caused the failures in California are not policies that we want in many other states, because this was unfortunately a policy failure to get back into prescribed burning. The reason being, especially in places like the Palisades, is that it might reduce my property values to have a once every 3 year ash come into my pool and burnt hillsides. Well, it was either you might have a perceived lower property value because the hillsides are burned, or you have a lower property value because your house is gone. So I guess we found out the intersection of those. But it's been just absolutely raging, really unfortunate. But hopefully this will push policy change in a positive way, and we'll be able to get better land management. There's just as much, if not more, forest out in Texas, but they have prescribed burns. I think they call them back burns or something like that, and they don't have problems, and they are pretty much just as dry from my understanding, but because of their burning schedules, they have not had problems with wildfires. So hopefully as a country we learn from this. I would certainly hope so. I don't want to see this sort of thing happen again, but all right, we are definitely making some messes. And yeah, these don't smell bad. Oh, that's a lot cleaner. That's definitely a lot cleaner. I feel like I can touch the rig now without just getting nasty all over my hand, although this front axle is still a little dirty. The one reason I don't like the SCX6 platform is just so big. I mean, you can see it barely fits on my bench. There we go. Why is there welding slag? Oh, whatever. But there is welding slag on this front steering link. That's real nice, I'm assuming when they welded this servo horn onto the servo, why? I don't know why. They didn't tighten it down first either. We're gonna ignore it. We're just gonna ignore it. All right. Ooh, she's clean, at least. We'll take these off and give her the old, Oh yeah, that's much better. That's much better. All right, so I have a radio. It's over here. I have a servo that needs to be, I'll just take that servo out now. It's not gonna serve me by keeping that in. What size? screw? He says questioningly. It definitely took some hits. This screw itself is kind of wonky, it looks like, as I was removing it. It was like, wow, wow, wow. Did you get that? Wow, wow, wow. All right, I'm going to put that back on the horn for now. Back on the horn. Oh, yeah, that's real nice. Cool. Oh, we got things on the back. Oh, yeah. This'll do. I think Knipex. It's German, I think. So Knipex. Get Knipex. No, that's not gonna work. What do we think? 7mm? Hey, I got lucky. I mean, it was skill. It was all. Oh, here's more welding slag. It's not from the original manufacturer, I can tell you that much. Because this was TIG welded, so there is zero slag anywhere. Obviously, somebody wire fed flux cord that thing, and it's like pot metal fused poorly to stainless. I'm gonna stop talking about it. We're gonna rant more about, I don't know, Californians. Honestly, in the RC realm, the Californians that I've met, 99.9% are all awesome people. It really seems like there's a huge segment of people in California that don't like a lot of Californians too. That it's very disconnected. The government seemed to get continuously more and more disconnected from the main population, and that bleeding edge voices managed to gain control, which it can happen, but it's why we're a constitutional republic as well. So you can't have a minority group, and I don't mean minority group in the typical CNN terms, but a minority group controlling the majority. But at the same time, we also can't have the majority group interfering with the rights of a minority in some ways, at least. There are certainly places and times where a minority might want something, but it's not the best for society. There we go. This hunker. I've actually got another one of these on the shelf somewhere. I think back at the hobby house still. So I'll grab that so I don't have to steal the servo from the other one. It'd be nice to have two of these running so I can go out and have my son make mistakes on the rocks with a really big rig, you know. So there we go. This is about where we're going to have to end today, because I don't have the parts to fix it up any more than this. But otherwise, it does run under its own power. I'm going to have to figure out how to clean up this wiring. I know that Hobby Wing came out with a fusion style, I think, for this size. I wouldn't be opposed to that. You know, that's a competitor, but at the same time, I know they make pretty good stuff. And in this particular case, I literally don't have anywhere I can mount this. We've got our battery mount over here, and then, I mean, you know, I can have this up top, but that's honestly really ugly. And for something that looks this good, I kind of want to clean up the wiring and have it look good. So I'll look into it. I have an account with A-Main. That may be what we do. I need to make an order anyways from A-Main, and we'll go from there. Yep. Alrighty, so we are gonna call it there here in a moment when I get these back installed. But otherwise, besides the servo being bum and the thing being dirty and needing a little bit of cleanup on the wiring, this guy's freaking great. Honestly, I mean, there's not big bends in the cage. We got a couple of knocks on the top panel, on the roof panel, and yeah, it's a fairly well built rig. Ignoring a few things that happened along the way, of course. There we go, the SCX6. All right, what was that noise? Oh, that was this. Cool, we're good, we're good. Nothing to worry about. Moving on. All right, so a little bit more work on this and we'll be ready for the rocks, although they are still covered in snow, so I'm not sure how long it'll be. I would really love to be able to do a video where I wrench on something, I get it running, and then we give you, you know, a little bit of outside running footage. But right now, I'm not going to get our cameras out into this sub-zero temperatures because they will probably fog up on the inside and then potentially freeze. Bad news. Also, I don't want to slip on the rocks with ice on top, and I don't want my cameraman to do that either. So there you go. We are on the way to having this done, and we'll get on the rocks soon. It's Missouri. We're gonna have some warm weather in probably like 2 weeks or something like that. It's gonna get back up to the 50s and it's gonna be beautiful compared to the 2 Fahrenheit we had the other night with high winds. So yeah, all right. If you got any questions or concerns about this, or if you have any suggestions for me along the way, I'd love to hear it, because I don't know anything about the SCX6s for the most part, and this is all new territory to me. So there you go. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. So I just got done wiping down this rig here, this SCX6 with a something chassis, and it was dirty. So I tried out these hide wipes from CowRC, and I didn't even remember to say anything about it in the video. These worked really well, actually, and now I've cleaned up my desktop. It seems to have a really good cutting agent in it. You don't need to wear gloves, but I did in the video. And as you can see, cleaning up the surface afterwards, they work really well, and they have a good bite to them. They're definitely, it's not something that's gonna break or have, you know, like I'm wiping this edge that has all sorts of like nastiness that would cut up a normal paper towel. They're very tough. They have a really good texture to them, like a rough texture that's good for cleaning. And overall, I really like these. CowRC sent them to me to test out, and I must say, these actually worked a lot better than I expected. So thanks, CowRC.